जय गजानन। गणेशाय नमस्तुभ्यं। हेरम्बाय एकदन्तिने स्वानन्दवासिने तुभ्यं ब्रह्मणस्पतये नमः। So today we shall see chapter 729 of the second part of Mudgal Puran. Here there is in the narration of the story by Mudgalacharya to Daksha Prajapati. He was narrating yesterday about Kashyapa, Rishi Kashyapa and his lineage. How his lineage was carried forward by his daughters the Aditi, Kadru, Arishta, Surasa, Danu, Surabhi, Tamra, Krodavarsha, Ira, and all these 13 daughters, and how Diti gave birth to all Danavas, and Aditi gave birth to all gods. Similarly, various other creatures, or you can say living beings like buffaloes, cows, were also born. They were also born. Trees from one of the daughters, so from Surabhi, trees were born. From Surabhi was born cows and buffaloes. Ira gave birth to trees, creepers. So, in a way, we can say Kashyapa created a large, was responsible in creating a large part of this living kingdom that we see around us. Not only human beings, but also a large part of the trees, forests, and animal kingdom. Now, Kashyapa, he had we come to Deva Rishi, Arish, all the daughters and all we have seen already. But in the end, Maharshi Kashyapa had a son named Shandilya, who was born to Asita. Hmm? There were, uh, see, after severe tapas, Kashyap, see, when after creating this whole universe, with all this birth of so many sons and animals and trees and everything, Kashyapa was still not very satisfied. He felt something missing, so he had done penance. And when he did penance, he got two sons. After severe penance, he got two sons who were named Vatsar and Asita. Now, this Vatsar, he gave birth to Naidruva and the famous Raibya. From Naidruva was gave birth. Naidruva was married to Chavana's Maharshi Chavana's daughter Sumedha, who gave birth to many sons and named Kundapai. Asita's wife, that is the second son, Asita's wife Ekaparna gave birth to the child named Devala. This Devala became a great yogacharya and also a Maharshi named Shandilya. Shandilya Rishi we have heard of. Shandilya Rishi, he was born to Asita. So these were the two sons who were born to Kashyapa Rishi after all the creations of all the major creations. This was after a considerable amount of penance. So now we will see the lineage of these two sons. Here there is a king named Trinabindu. Trinabindu had a beautiful daughter, Elavilaka. Elavilaka, this king Trinabandhu, he was like a Raja Rishi. He was not only a Rishi, but also being a king, he was known as Raja Rishi. He married this Elavilaka to Pulastya. Now, Pulastya and Elavilaka got a son, Vishrava. This story is a little bit significant because often refer to in through our epic poems, Ramayana and all. So Vishrava, they got a son, Vishrava, who was also a Muni. Vishnava had four beautiful daughters. Sorry, four beautiful wives. Vishnava had four beautiful wives. They were Pushkotkata, Raka, Kaikashi, and Devavarnini. Devavarnini's son, Vaishravana, was the eldest. Okay, the fourth wife, Devavarnini's son, Vaishravana, was the eldest. The daughter Kaikashi, we are all familiar with. Kaikashi's son was this Ravana. She also had two other sons, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana. A daughter named Shurpanaka was also born to Kaikashi. These were her four children. Kaikashi, Ravana, Kumbhakarna. This Kaikashi was actually from the Rakshasa clan, whereas Ravana was the son of a rishi. So see the combination of rishi, that is direct mind-born son of Brahma, and a Rakshasi. So gives birth to Rakshasa like Ravana. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana, they all performed penance for a long, long time to Brahmadeva. They did penance, praying to Brahmadeva for 10,000 years. After this austere penance, standing on one leg and all, fasting and all kinds of things. And after doing this penance, Brahmadeva was pleased with their penance and he manifested before them and asked them, I'm pleased with your penance. What boons do you want? What do you want from me? Ask anything that you desire, and I will grant it to you. Ravana, what he asked? He asked that I want supremacy over all the three worlds. That is Bhu, Bhuva, and Swargaloka. So all these lokas, I want supremacy, sovereignty. And he also said that nobody in these worlds other than should be capable, any resident of these worlds should not be capable of killing him. But he forgot to include monkeys and human beings. So all the others like Gandharvas, all those people, they should, Apsaras and all, they must not be able to kill him. That is what he asked. Kumbhakarna, Kumbhakarna also wanted supremacy. He actually wanted the throne of Indra. So he naturally, when anybody targets Indra's throne, Indra gets frightened, and he always goes to somebody or the other for help. Either Brahmadeva, Mahavishnu, or some gods, he will go for help. So when Kumbhakarna asked for Indrasana, that is Indra's seat, Indra's throne, that is what he asked. So Indra went to Saraswati, goddess Saraswati. Goddess Saraswati, she said, okay, I'll help you. When this Kumbhakarna was actually asking, she sat on his tongue and made him to ask Nidrasana instead of Indrasana. So instead of Indrasana, he asked Nidrasana. That is why Tatastu. The moment you utter something, Tatastu, Brahmadeva will say. And he was blessed with sleep for 6 months, continuous sleep for 6 months, and then he awoke from sleep and he ate all what he didn't eat for 6 months, and then he again went back to sleep. So this was the blessing that he got from Brahmadeva. Now there is another story that he actually wanted to ask Nir Nirdevatam. That is wanted to ask Nirdevatam, that is annihilation of devas, that is a life without devas, Nirdevatam. And instead, when Saraswati sat on his tongue, he asked Nidravatam. So that is what what he got blessed was sleep. This is another aspect. Some different places it appear in this way. Different stories are told, but whatever it is, the fact is there was a slip of the tongue, and he was blessed with sleep. That is why we should even be careful in what we utter and how we utter the words. Then Vivishana asked for devotion to Mahavishnu. And so he was blessed with devotion to Mahavishnu, and he was in keeping with his dharma. That is, he was a sattvic person, and so he was blessed with a sattvic quality of Vishnu. Brahma granted these boons and returned to his palace. Now we know what all happened after that. Ravana conquered all the three worlds. All these three brothers together, they lived for 60,000 years. So, when we consider the lifetime of Rama, we can say he came much later. Ravana was there already. Already Ravana was there. Already he had built this Sri Lanka, and also he had the shaking of the Kailash Parvat. He wanted to take Shiva to his Sri Lanka. So he wanted to take him. He knew Shiva will not come, so he thought of taking the mountain itself. So that is how that we got that Ravana Stuti on of the on Shiva Stotram by Ravana is the most famous, and it is very popular these days because it has a lot of beats, and in pop culture and pop songs, it's now that kind of rap songs. It has become, as a rap song also, it has become so famous. But it was made by Ravana, remember, and Ravana with all that ugram, that song itself, that stotra itself is very vigorous, you can say. And of course, it is very rhyming. He was a master of Sanskrit, he was a scholar, and together they all ruled for 60,000 years. Finally, when his atrocities was unbearable to all the three worlds, because he had conquered all the three worlds, Rama had to come and he killed him on the battlefield. And after killing Ravana, Vibhishana was crowned king of Ceylon, Sri Lanka. Now, this Vaishravana, who was the father or the grandfather, we can say, of these Ravana and all, it is whose daughter Kaikashi, Vaishravana performed penance of the supreme spirit Ganesha. He chanted um, the Ekakshara mantra of Ganesha for 10,000 years to please him. Then Gajanana manifested before Ganesha and he blessed him that he will be the devotee of Shankara. That is what he asked. So he asked for being a devotee of Shankara, and Ganesha blessed him. He was appointed as the guardian of the northern direction. He was named Dhanapala, or guardian of wealth. Thus he became the famous as Kubera. Kubera, as we know him as Kubera, he was also Dhanapal, that is the guardian of wealth, and that is found in the northern direction. And as worshipper of Shiva, Shankara is supposed to be living in the smashan, that is in the graveyard, or I mean in the what is that cremation ground. So when he's actually living in the cremation ground, but he is the one who blesses everyone with all prosperity, all wealth. So he blessed his devotee Vishrava with all prosperity, who became Dhanapala, and finally and he is known as Kubera among the gods. Vaishravana begot four sons. Vaishravana begot four sons and a daughter from his wife Pushpotkata. Pushpotkata. They were the four sons and a daughter, who was Mahodara, Mahaparshva, Prahasta, and Khara, and a daughter Kumbinashi. So this was Vaishravana who performed yajna, and afterward he got four sons and a daughter. Now, from the wife named Raka, now see, this Raka is the daughter of, is the wife of Vishrava. From the wife Raka, were born the mighty sons Trisharas, Trishiraska, Dushana, Vidyujiva, and Mahakala. Now, these were all, you can say, cousins of Ravana, because Vishrava had four wives who were Pushkotkata, Raka, Kaikashi, and Devavarnini. From Kaikashi, he got all this Ravana, Vibhishana, Kumbhakarna, and Shurpanaka, but other wives, he got these brothers. So sometimes these names might appear also as others who were sent by Ravana to fight in the war. So you might get details. Some Ramayana books, all details are not given, like in such details, but in Valmiki Ramayana or some place, you might get these names also. Then from the wife Raka, he was these four sons. These were the 10 cruel Rakshasas in Maharshi Pulastya's lineage. So Pulastya Maharshi was actually another mind-born sons of Brahmadeva. But since he married these women who were Rakshasis, he begot 10 Rakshasas, including Ravana and all of them. Pulaha had non-human sons also, such as deer, fowl, carnivores, pishachas, different bhutas, pigs, and elephants. These are all Mayavi people. Means the Rakshasis were also Mayavi. Kaikashi was a very great, very proficient in mantra tantras. And so she was able to, and that's how were able to manifest. Just like chanting mantras, they will create all these animals also. So non-human sons also, Pulaha, this rishi had. During this Manvantara, Krutu did not have any progeny. Krutu did not have any progeny, but in the next Manvantara, he was Marichi's son Kashyapa. Now, this Kashyapa is a different Kashyapa. Kashyapa of the earlier. This is Marichi's son Kashyapa, who later became Prajapati. So, very often we find a repetition of names because it was there was a tradition of naming like that. The grandfather's name, the father's name was given to the son, and so the names were carried forward. So in this way, the Marichi's son was again Kashyapa, who was the next Prajapati. So Bhrigu Muni's son was the intelligent. This is about another Muni. We saw Kashyapa, we saw Pulastya, Pulaha. Now Bhrigu. Bhrigu Muni's son was intelligent, and he was named Kavya. Now this Kavya is another name which is for Shukracharya. Kavya or Kavi. In some places he appears as Kavi also. He was Shukracharya, who was the teacher for Daityas, Danavas, all Asuras. Shukracharya was a great devotee of Shankara. He was continuously engaged in reciting Vedas. He knew everything about, but he also prayed to Shankara and got the the mantra, the secret mantra by which he was able to revive the Rakshasas. Because now, in the Manthan, Amrita came. Amrita went to the Devas. So Devas attained immortality, but Rakshasas were dying. So, in order to revive the Rakshasas also, because Rakshasas or people like Ravana and all, they are also of a high stature. Though they may be from the Rakshasas or Asuras clan, they were rulers of the three worlds. So they were equally powerful. So, in order to revive them, keep them also continuously engaged in the cycle of birth and death, the Shukracharya got this Sanjeevani mantra. Shukracharya commenced austerities. Then after that, Shukracharya commenced austerities for Ganesha. and he attained Shanti Yoga. That is, he attained, he learned this, the step by step process of attaining peace. He was also an ardent devotee of Ganesha. Next, we come to Atri Rishi. Atri's son was Soma, that is Chandra. He was endowed with Amrita. That is, moon is and Chandra is endowed with Amrita. That Amrita only is the nourishment for the plants. It is in the form of light. Under the moon's rays only plants get their nourishment, are able to grow. Means under that light of the sun only the chlorophyll gets split, and in the photosynthesis process the plants grow. So so this is the Atri's son was Chandra. That was a significant thing. Then Maharshi Vasishta. Next, Maharshi Vasishta, he begot a son from Arundhati. His wife was Arundhati, and he begot a son, Shakti. Shakti's son was Parashara. We know of the story of Parashara. Parashara was an ascetic, and he was worshipped. Worshipped Shiva. Once Parashara asked his grandfather Vasishta, who was well versed in all kinds of scriptures, to tell him about the path for attaining yogic peace. So Parashara asked his father Vasishta, Yoga Vasishta, Lord Shiva is so detached. He's not. He's indestructible. He's forever. Yeah, that is, he's eternal, and he's called Neti Brahma. How can such a Brahma, who is free of illusions, become infatuated and confused? He's supposed to be above moha. He's mohahina. Then how did he get confused? Mudgalacharya then continued this. He's narrating all the story to Daksha Prajapati about the various rishis who came from Brahma's Manasaputras. So this Mudgalacharya is narrating to Daksha about this grandson, Parashar of Vasishta. Vasishta explains to his grandson about the Shanti Yoga. Oh, son, I shall tell you about Shanti Yoga, but this Shanti Yoga I heard from Brahmadeva. Brahmadeva told me about this Shanti Yoga. And once I had traveled extensively to attain peace. Now, this Yoga Vasishta and all these rishis are eternal. Means that is, if they don't live on earth, then they are in the Rishi Loka, in the Tapo Loka. They are forever. And they keep coming to earth whenever there is a destruction of all the scriptures. Whenever the Vedas, Shastras, scriptures get destroyed, either due to floods or due to fire or something, these rishis, they come, they take birth on the earth, and they revive these Vedas by imparting that knowledge to their shishyas. That is how Vashishta came in this Manvantara to impart this knowledge to Parashara Rishi. Parashar, and he narrates what he heard from Brahmadeva. So he says, one day I was traveling everywhere, I didn't find peace. So I went to Brahmaloka. And I found that Brahmadeva was doing puja. So I asked him, whom are you worshipping? You are the creator. Whom are you worshipping? So he said, I am worshipping Ganesha. Ganesha, see, you are all born from me. That is, Brahmadeva is telling to Yogasha, you are all born from me, but I was born from Ganesha, and I shall tell you about that Ganesha who is the supreme, in whom the unmanifest and the manifest is contained. So when Parashara, when he introduced like this, Parashara was excited. He said, why are you worshipping Ganesha? Who is the supreme? Tell me more about him. I've been wandering for years and years in search of this knowledge. Tell me about him. So Brahmadeva was delighted on hearing this Vasishta and asked this question. And he said, listen, O fortunate son, Ganesha is the bestower of Shanti Yoga. He is our creator. He is the one whose bhajans I sing constantly. I sing his stotras. He is the bestower of all siddhis. He is the one who gave me all skills, knowledge, the power for creation of everything. So he is the first worshipped. He is worshipped before everything else. And today happens to be Ganesh Chaturthi. And today's Ganesh Chaturthi is the day when Ganesha was born to Shiva and Parvati in Kailash. That is that Ganesha, that incarnation of Ganesha whom we worship today in this Ganesh Chaturthi. So here, he is our father. The Vedas have described him as supreme monarch. He is not just the supreme one, but also he is the Moola Purusha. He is our source. He is the one who exists in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So all other when we refer to Ganesha, he was born to Kashyapa Rishi, he was born to Shivaloka, he was born to Sheshnaga, he was born he was born to Vishnu. So it's in so many lokas which Ganesha incarnated. So it will be an ansh part, a small portion of his supreme being. He only a small incarnation, a part incarnation. So he is the one who is existing before, beyond, he is existing always, and it is into whom we all get absorbed at the time when the world will end. In between, he is the one who exists in the various forms. It is he who is present as an ansh, as a soul, as a chaitanya, as a chintamani. In each of us, um, during the time in between, when this world is existing. So he is existing as Chintamani in our Chitta. Chitta is mind, consciousness, matter. In that, the Chitta is subject to various changes. That is Kshipta, Mudha, Vikshipta, Ekagra, and Niruddha. So when all these are the Chitta is constantly changing according to circumstances, according to situations in the world, he is the constant, and that is Chintamani. So the all scholars they worship him as Brahma, and he is the one who provides all kinds of Aishwarya or prosperity. So, and he also provides all kinds of siddhis, whatever you may desire, whatever you ask for, it is he who provides it through the power of siddhi. Siddhi is the bestower of all powers through buddhi, through the intellect. You get a yearning, you get a knowledge of the existence of these things, and then you yearn for it, and that siddhi siddhi is a power bestowing aspect of Ganesha. So if you want to attain peace, abandon everything else and just surrender to Ganesha, and you worship him as a reflection, as a bimba in you. He exists in you as a reflection. He is that Ganesha. So worship that Ganesha. He will bestow um, Brahma Bhuyatva, that is experience of the being of Brahma also. Then you will attain peace. Then Brahmadeva, he initiated the Ekakshara mantra to Vasishta, and by which he chanted that Ekakshara mantra for many, many thousands of years, and he attained Shanti Yoga. He attained peace. But even though he attained peace, he still continues to worship Ganesha. So he imparted this knowledge to Parashara Muni, Parashara, his grandson, and Parashar too meditated on this Ekakshara mantra. And Gajanana manifested, and he came on a rat and blessed him with Shanti Yoga. So this is the story of the penance of Vasishta Muni in this part on the chapter 29th chapter of the second part of the Mudgal Puran. So we are seeing into all the rishis who manifested or who were the mind-born sons of Brahmadeva during this Manvantara, that is Purandara, where Purandara is the Indra. Vaivasvata Manvantara. One by one, we are seeing the rishis who, how did they do penance and attain peace. So we shall see what boons Parashara Muni gets in the next session, which is chapter 30 of the second part. Let us meditate on our learnings from this part of the Mudgal Puran, where the emphasis is on meditation to acquire all skills, all powers, all siddhis, all knowledge. All the rishis, the Manasaputras of Brahmadeva, did penance for hundreds and thousands of years for gaining knowledge to create. We are their creation. We have already come with a certain amount of knowledge. This knowledge we have acquired over several lifetimes. It is deliberately arranged that we do not remember our previous lifetimes. We only carry the essence of knowledge. We carry knowledge in the form of impressions. Sukshma, the subtle body. These impressions are what we call vasanas or tendencies. The tendency towards a particular kind of activity. We often find when we look at our children, we find that some of them are very quick to learn mathematics, or there is someone who's very good at handling mechanical objects. Some other child may be good at sports, some child may be good at music, although they had sufficient, they have not lived such a number, so many years to have acquired that proficiency. Still, they have an inclination towards that. That is the tendency, the vasana, the impression that gathered over previous lifetime or several lifetimes. And how is this carried forward? This is not only civilizational memory is also there. A whole species carries memory of a certain type. Even we observe these among animals. Animals eating a particular type of fruit, or animals eating certain kinds of flowers, or even digging up the roots. These are certain memories, carried cellular memories that we carry over lifetimes. The cellular memories are unique to each living organism. And the species as a whole has similar cellular memories. So also human beings, we carry cellular memories over several lifetimes. And these are the crystallization of our experiences. Whatever we experience in life, repeated over a period of time, gets crystallized as a neural pathway in our DNA or in our bodies. And these form impressions on the DNA. These neural pathways can be changed through conscious actions. We saw how habits die hard. If you remove H, a bit remains. If you remove A, bit remains. If you remove B, it still remains. So, habits which are formed over a period of any any action repeated over a period of time becomes a habit. And these habits register as impressions at the cellular level. And these cellular memories are carried over lifetimes. This is a gross aspect, but it can be even registered at the energetic level because our energy, consisting of the subtle energetic body of the seven chakras, seven energy centers, Muladhar, Swadhisthana, Nabhi, Anahat, Vishuddhi, Agya, and Sahasrar. Each of these energy centers have different functions to perform, have different frequencies, have different qualities, give different types of different types of emotions. One may represent innocence. One may like Muladhar represents innocence, wisdom, auspiciousness, whereas Swadhisthana is for creativity. Nabhi is for satisfaction and contentment and inherent knowledge within you. And the heart is, the Anahat is for compassion, courage, fearlessness, immunity. Your Vishuddhi chakra for expression, for relationships, communication, diplomacy, and for connecting to the higher center of Agya chakra, which is the third eye or a seat of intuitive knowing, seat of discrimination, viveka buddhi, the ability to distinguish between what is right and wrong. Right and wrong, not from an individual perspective, but from the universal or cosmic perspective. And the Sahasrar, where there is an integration of all our different bodies, that is physical, emotional, intellectual, mental, and spiritual. There's an integration of all these energies, which is the Sahasrara. So this subtle energetic body becomes condensed. They carry impression, energetic impressions of all that we experience during our lifetime. Just like in a semiconductor or in a chip, you have silver, um, which is um, the chip. There are certain you can see silver dots, or you can see spirals actually, which carry the programs, the software programs within it as impressions that we feed through the keyboard, mouse, or whatever. So they store all the instructions, and you simply have to carry that chip anywhere. You don't have to carry the computer, and that chip will serve the purpose, which is there in your pen drives or any other, even in your credit cards, which carry all the impressions of your details, personal details. So just like that, this energetic body carries impression of your own individuality, which goes with the soul or the atma or the ansh, the small particle of the supreme divine that is present in each one of us. And this is encapsulated by this energetic body, carrying all the impressions. That is how we, when we are born, we come with a certain knowledge. We don't learn everything from scratch. So this knowledge has been coming from generations, and we are at this present stage. Look at yourself, look at ourselves, look at the world around you, or you in this world around you, as the tomorrow that you worried about yesterday, which is present as today. The future that was conceived in the past is before us. It's our own creation. What we do with it is in our hands. Literally in our hands. You can see the vibrations of your energetic centers on your hands. You can feel the vibration of the sahasrara in the middle of your palm. The Muladhara is at the base of your hand. Swadhisthana is the thumb. Index finger is the Vishuddhi. The middle finger is the Nabhi. Ring finger is your heart. Sorry, is your Agya. And the little finger is the heart. And the center of your palm is a sahasra. When we say your health is in your hands, you can literally know the health of your energy body on your fingertips. By knowing the sensations, becoming aware, connected, you can know through the prickly sensation or the normal sensation, the heat, cold, warm. From these variations, you can know the condition of the energy centers and accordingly attend to it. And this we can know before it gets manifested as a disease in that region. As the doctors say, before having a heart attack, you may have pain in your left shoulder or left arm, left forearm. But even before that, you can know it in your little finger. But we don't sense it much because we have not paid attention. You're literally carrying your life force in your hands. At least the reflection of the life force. There are healers who use this healing hands to heal others energetically. There are healers who use this energy to heal others energetically through awareness, through attention to the chitta, the power of the chitta, Chaitanya Shakti. Many of our illnesses are caused due to excessive thinking. Much of our energy is wasted in thoughts, in worrying. Silencing our mind is important to conserve energy for functioning of the other parts of the body. When energy is wasted in worrying, less energy is available for the pancreas for manufacturing insulin. That is why we get diabetes. Getting connected internally, energetically, can reveal wonders of your human body and help you to take decisions before things go out of hand. So many are suffering from cancer, which is due to excessive right sided activity. Right sided means left brain. The Pingala Nadi, which runs on the right side, of course, it crosses over in some places, but crosses over at the agya to the left brain. Excess use of this results in cancer. Why? Excess use means it's not wastage, but overactivity at the cellular level. And when this overactivity goes out of proportions, the cells multiply without control, which is cancer. Frantically running around, frantically doing multitasking, frantically attending to 101 unnecessary things is overactivity. That's called hyper. Similarly, on the left side is your emotional nature. It is something, it deals with memory. It deals with memory of the past, brooding over events of the past, thinking about the past results in depression. You will be emotionally drained. This affects the right brain because the Ida Nadi crosses over at the Agya to go into the right brain. This can lead to paralysis. All mental illnesses, psychosomatic diseases are due to imbalance of energy on the left channel, Ida Nadi. We need to maintain a balance of energies of the left and the right, just as our normal breathing, the unconscious breathing, parasympathetic system, which takes care of our breathing, alters between the left nostril and right nostril every an hour or so, an hour and a half or so throughout the day without our knowledge, which is a natural gift from the divine. And when we breathe consciously, we can become aware of this shift in energies in our body. Bring all your attention to your breathing. Take a nice deep breath and relax it yourself. Just promising yourself to increase awareness at the energetic level. Slowly wriggle your fingers and toes. Rub your hands together. Cup your palms, place it on the eyes. Gently rub your face and open your eyes.